Welcome to the Campfire. Today we are taking a deep dive into District 16, 6A. The teams in this district are Bridgeland, Cy Falls, Cy Lakes, Cy Park, Cy Ranch, Cy Springs, Cy Woods, and Langham Creek. Let's start off by analyzing these teams in our film session. After 7 district games were played last year, 16-6A concluded with a 4-way tie at the top. Look for another mad dash to the district title again in 2023. Cy Falls will return the district's offensive MVP, Trey Morris, in the backfield, and along with defensive lineman Martin Carrion, the Golden Eagles should be vying for a piece of the crown again. Cy Woods got a taste of first place last year, and with receivers Kyler Singletary and Ty Cogdill back in the fold, the Wildcats could be in the hunt again. Cy Ranch also has some talented receivers returning in first-team All-District selections Tracy James and Carson Littlefield. Bridgeland was also part of the 4-pack at the top of the district, and they returned Defensive Newcomer of the Year Carson Krause. Langham Creek very well could replace one of those 4 teams in the postseason. The Lobos returned first-team All-District quarterback Braylon Scott and Division I tight end prospect Jordan Washington. Cy Springs QB Harrison Mass is about as experienced as any other signal caller in the district, as he was a first-team All-District selection too. Cy Lakes and Cy Park will be looking for major bounce-back seasons as they only had 1 district win between them. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. For an even deeper look at 16-6A, here's producer Ward Fasold and the Houston Chronicle's John Poorman with the district breakdown.
District breakdown time. We're talking 16-6A. There's my guy John Poorman from the Houston Chronicle. John, we discussed kind of off camera, this thing went all the way down to the last week of the season, and they still couldn't get an outright runners. Four guys tied for first. Talk about this Cypress district and how it may shape out this year. We can look for yet another mad dash to the finish.
Yeah, this district, was kind of top heavy, but you look at the top 4 teams, obviously they all tied for the district title. When you're talking about Bridgeland, Cy Falls, Cy Ranch, and Cy Woods, these were teams that were just beating up on each other all season long, and all ended up tied in the standings. So, it was a crazy final couple weeks there in that district, and with how things finally shook out. But yeah, I expect more of the same this year. I'm looking at those 4 programs in particular. I'm really intrigued by Cypress Falls. Obviously, they have returning running back in Trey Morris, who's probably, in my opinion, the best returning player in this district. Rushed for nearly 2,000 yards last year as a junior, so really talented. I got to see him play a couple of times. Really impressed with what he was able to do. So, going into this year, you have Cy Ranch, obviously, who's always a perennial district title contender. Cypress Woods had a fantastic year last year as well. And then Bridgeland with new coach Lonnie Madison coming over from College Park. They've been really competitive in recent years as well. So this should be a good battle.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, and we're going to go move on to 17-6A, talk some more Cypress and some Houston ISD teams as well next week.
Sounds good.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now let's look at some game changers in our Players on the Rise presented by Parker University. Running back Trey Morris of Cy Falls got out of the grasp of most defenders in 2022. Morris was the offensive MVP of the district as he ran for just under 1,900 yards and 24 touchdowns for the Golden Eagles. Trey is a shifty back that darts through small holes for big yardage. He currently has offers from all the military schools, among others. At Cy Ranch, Tracy James is part of a dangerous wide receiver duo returning for the Mustangs. James caught 51 balls for 909 yards and 9 touchdowns for Cy Ranch last year. His counterpart, Carson Littlefield, helped make the Mustangs a formidable air attack. James will look to add to those stats as he has offers from Northern Arizona, Arkansas State, and Prairie View A&M, among others. Every offense needs a big target in the red zone, and that's exactly what tight end Jordan Washington provides for Langham Creek. Washington has size as well as wide receiver type skills in the passing game, as he has scored numerous long touchdowns. He also held it down in the trenches while blocking in the running game. The 3-star recruit has offers from Texas, Texas A&M, and Utah, among others. One of the most feared pass rushers in this district is Omar Khan of Bridgeland. The 6'5", 275-pound Khan is a powerful lineman who can force his way through an offensive line with his brute strength. An accomplished wrestler as well, Khan has received over 20 offers to play college ball, including Houston, USC, and Cal. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. Our Wart for Soul cut up to Cy Falls head coach Chris Brister to talk to him about his Golden Eagles and the rest of the district in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We're talking 16-6A with Cy Falls head coach Chris Brister. Coach, that was a wild district last year. I don't know if I've ever seen 4 teams finish in a tie for first like that, but it went all the way to week 11, game 10. Talk to you about how you experienced as a coach, just kind of feeling that, man, I got to win all these things, and I still ended up in a 4-way tie.
Well, it's 16-6A. It's always like that. I don't ever remember a 4-way tie, but I do remember a bunch of co-championships and 3-way ties and stuff like that. So I think it just sort of speaks to the depth and the quality of the programs in our district year in, year out. So I would expect it'll probably be another 4-way tie next year. A lot of quality opponents, well-coached teams. That's what makes it fun, though.
Now, I know your team, and we were just kind of discussing off camera, was fairly young last year. Talk a little bit about your youth and how you hope it's the experience they got is going to help you here in 2023.
Yeah, we graduated some great senior players for us, but we return the bulk of our team, and a lot of those guys have been 3-year starters for us. So we were young last year, but we're a pretty veteran crew right now, and so. Going through spring training, we felt really good about where we were at. Not having to go and reteach a bunch of stuff to kids that have been on the field for so long. So, as a coach, you got to be happy with that part of it. I feel like we've got a good team, and a lot of that is because of the experience that those guys have given us.
I appreciate it, man. We're looking for big things from Cy Falls, and good luck in 2023.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we will dive into 17-6A. Until then, have a great week, everybody.